Incredible. Oh, and down goes Gamboa. Whoop, there it is. Oh, you picked it up. Shevchenko with a huge highlight tonight.
What up, bros? Welcome back to Throwin Hands. Sorry we didn't get a review of the latest pay-per-view, but it's me, it's Jarrett. Jarrett, what's up, man?
Not much, man. Just hanging in there,
Yeah, for sure. So probably gonna be a shorter episode today, but we're gonna talk about this card coming up, Strickland versus Cannonier. Fun card, not the best card. We're not really gonna go in depth on the prelims, Jarrett, but what are some things you want to watch out for here?
Saeed, he's ranked now, so that's something. Dvorak, Kape, like we said before we started this, that's going to be a good one. Battles on the prelims, there's some fights there that have me excited to tune in the whole time.
Yeah. And one thing for me is Jake Matthews on the prelims. I think he's really, really good. So we'll see what happens there. But we're going to get into the first fight of the main card. Cody Brundage versus Michael Oleksiejczuk. Mouthful. But another middleweight fight. I think Brundage is really good. And Oleksiejczuk, he's almost good, I think. I don't really know what to think of this fight. I think Brundage takes it, honestly, though.
Really? Yeah. What gets me is Brundage ended up taking this on short notice. So that I think if this wasn't on short notice, this would be a lot better of a fight, if Cody had a full camp. But I think this is one to look forward to. Cody 2-1 in the UFC. Both wins were this year and were both by finishes. A TKO over Gore, and he has a submission over Lungambola, who fought last week. Brundage is tough. This is a tough matchup for Oleksiejczuk off of a short notice. So I'm gonna say Oleksiejczuk gets it done. I think just having a full camp, being prepared for Duraev, who's out with it's undisclosed, like they don't know if it's an injury or whatnot, but probably most likely an injury. Oleksiejczuk has lost to Dustin Jacoby. He has a nasty uppercut, 4 KOs or TKOs.
Mm-hmm.
He's also been submitted twice, but I'm going to give the KO to Oleksiejczuk in this one.
Yeah, I can't argue with you there, though. So, but bro, this should be the co-main. I don't care what anybody says. Drew Dober versus Bobby Green. We all know this is going to be a banger. Drew Dober has a granite chin. I don't know if you guys saw the video, but if you see go back and watch his fight with Alves, bro, there was a point where it was the cleanest shot you could possibly take and the hardest shot you could possibly take. Just stayed up. I don't get it. But Bobby Green, he's coming off the USADA suspension, tainted supplement, I'm sure. But dude, if you're looking for bangers, this is your fight.
Yeah, and that his one with McKinney had him up against the cage on his butt within 30 to 45 seconds of the fight, and Dober just wouldn't go away. I was calling him the Crimson Chin. Like, it's just crazy. And like, look at his chin. Like, his chin, he looks like an anime character. It's ridiculous. Like, he has such a huge hitbox, but yet he just won't go down. So it's it's going to be a good one, though. I think Drew's going to get this done by a decision. But this is going to be a good one. Bobby, only a 6-month suspension, but he has lost his last L was to Fiziev in Islam. So two tough.
He arguably beat Fiziev too, man.
Yeah. But I'm going to give the edge to Drew Dober by decision.
This fight's too close for me, man. I don't really know who's going to win. I mean, the odds are even pretty much.
Yeah.
I here's the thing with Drew Dober. He has the chin, and he could take all these insane shots, but there's gonna come a point where he's gonna go out. Like
Mhm.
like cold. Like that's what happens with those guys who rely on their chin. One day they're good, the next time they're going to sleep. I don't think Bobby Green's that guy though, but I'm gonna have Bobby Green win by decision. But I don't know. It's a good
I can
fight.
absolutely see that because if Bobby throws more, doesn't absorb as much because Bobby's hard to hit. He's a really great striker. He's hard to really line one up with, and he has that the what's it called, the shoulder roll. It's gonna be a tough one though. I'm really excited for that one.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great that's gonna be fight of the night probably. Um, Alex Caceres versus Julian Erosa. Julian Erosa, Throwing Hands alum. Check out that interview. Gracious enough to come on the show. But Alex Caceres, man, he's been on a roll as of late. He's just out of the rankings. He recently lost to Sadiq Yusuf. Not a bad loss by any means. And then Julian Erosa, this dude's been on a tear as of late. He's been cut from the UFC twice, but when he came back during the pandemic, he's really showed off. He's won 6 out of 7, I think, since he's returned. So, or 5 out of 6 rather. But that Hakeem Dawodu, that's a tough win. But Alex Caceres, he's tricky on the ground, man.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. That's what I'd say. I think this one's going to go to a decision. I think if it goes to a decision, I'm going to have to give Julian the edge on this one. But I'm this is so close in my opinion. This is going to be one of mine where I'm just going to pick a finish just to pick it, And I think Caceres can submit it if it goes to the ground. But Erosa, man, I think he's going to outstrike him. I think by a lot too. They do have a common opponent with Sung Woo Choi. Choi was Erosa's last loss, and he was Caceres' last win. So I think this one's going to be a tough one, but I think it goes to the judges, and I think Erosa gets it done by decision. I'd like to see a Caceres submission though.
I think Erosa gets it done by knockout personally. All right. Amir Albazi versus Alessandro Costa. They're throwing Costa to the Wolves here.
Yeah,
For a debut.
yeah, yeah. This is one for Albazi. You gotta feel for him because a type of guy like that wants to keep moving up in the rankings. Was supposed to fight Perez. Perez was out, undisclosed reasons, and then Royval stepped in. He's out with a broken wrist. That's the 6-4, and now you're fighting a guy who's coming in on his UFC debut. And Costa's good. But he had a win over Andres Luna Martinelli at the Contender Series, but that was a split decision win. So a UFC debut, but it's a tough one. I got Albazi by submission.
I got Albazi by submission too. I'm not going to add anything to that. Throwing of the Wolves here.
Yeah.
All righty, this is a fun fight. Arman Sarukian versus Damir Ismagulov. Ismagulov's really good. Sarukian's really good too. These are two up and comers when it comes to this lightweight division. Ismagulov's last one is against Guram Kutateladze. I thought Kutateladze won, but that's beside the point. He also beat Alves and Thiago Moises. Dude, this is such a good fight. It's gonna be fun to watch on the ground too, I think. I mean, what's your thoughts on this one, man?
Sarukian's a good wrestler, These guys apparently have the same manager. They worked with each other a lot, so they're used to each other's styles. Sarukian said he's going to be using the wrestling, and I think that's going to make the difference. I think Sarukian is a freestyle wrestler coming in against Ismagulov. Ismagulov struggles with wrestling. Some other guys haven't been able to out wrestle him. He has good takedown defense, but at the same time, he hasn't wrestled a wrestler like Sarukian. So I'm going to give the edge to Sarukian by decision.
Yeah, I have to agree. I think Sarukian's he's great on the ground. I think he beats him by submission, honestly. And I think Sarukian he has future champ potential.
Absolutely.
Not saying he will be the champ, but he has the potential to do it. Absolutely.
Just shows the depth at lightweight. Like that, it's so crazy how
Yeah,
tough lightweight.
that's you make a good point there.
I mean, both of them will be top five once that those guys who have been around for a while start filtering out. Chandler, Gaethje, Poirier. I mean, McGregor's already out of the rankings. They're both ahead of Ferguson, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
They're the next big thing. They'll both be top five with Islam coming up, and I think they could both give Islam a good run, at least make it competitive. Even though Sakurian was or Islam was his first loss.
yeah, definitely. I totally agree with you. When I think the takeover with those young guys to the older guys is going to be very quick.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion. And then we'll have a new top of the lightweights. But anyway, Jared Cannonier versus Sean Strickland, our main event of the evening. Two top middleweights. Cannonier coming off a title loss to Israel Adesanya, and Sean Strickland coming off one of the weirdest
Yeah.
choices of strategy against Alex Pereira. And Sean Strickland said he'd do the same thing again. Got to give it to the guy. He's tenacious.
Yeah.
But Cannonier. I think Cannonier might blast him into orbit if Sean Strickland decides to trudge forward like he does. I don't see it going well for him.
I don't think he can outbox Cannonier. I think Cannonier has way more power. His only two losses in when he's fighting at middleweight are to Bobby Knuckles and Izzy. So I think Cannonier gets this one done by KO.
Yeah, he's literally lost to only the best in the best in the division. He's only lost to. So I'm gonna take Cannonier too. I think he knocks him out. Sean Strickland's got to be a lot smarter of a fighter than he usually is. His first loss at I still don't get why did you try to wrestle Pereira? I don't know, but
it's just the character, that you gotta, if you're gonna beat a guy, you want to go out and beat him in his own thing. That's gonna get people talking about him, but that's not smart. That's not how you win fights.
That's not how you win fights. Alrighty, so we got some stuff to talk about from last week, 282. I'm saying this right now, bro. You and I talked a tad bit about this, but Topuria is the future of this division. I don't care what any of you guys say. This guy is different.
Yeah, that was manhandled him.
Like, and what? I'm no expert compared to the commentators. But what irked me was when they're like, "Oh, Topuria is going into Bryce Mitchell's world. Why is he doing this?" I'm like, "Did you not see his record before UFC? Almost all of his wins were by submission, except for one. This dude can grapple with the best of them."
Yeah.
And Bryce Mitchell said he had the flu. Like, I don't like when fighters come out after and say, "Oh, this was going on. This was going on." I mean, dude, you came in, you made the choice to come in. There's no excuse.
Mm-hmm.
You could have pulled out, and I would have totally respected your decision. Because I've never had the flu, but I'm sure it sucks.
Yeah.
But
at the same time, it's something that you keep to yourself, at that point, I think.
Yeah. But like Topuria's boxing is really good too. He just needs to stop over swinging on some of these punches.
Yeah.
Oh, he's so good. Doc is all right. I want to say this. Oh, shout out to Esmond Shabazi. Congrats on the win. I'm glad you're back at it. But Chris Dawkins needs to move down to 205. He cannot compete with these big boys up at heavyweight. 3 in a row to Derek Lewis, Curtis Blades, and Jairzinho Rozenstruik. Yes, they all hit very, very, very hard. And I think I mentioned this in the last episode. I asked Chris, "Yo, have you thought about moving down to 205?" He's like, "I've thought about it." I'm like, "I think it's the time."
Yeah, it definitely is. Because he can keep the volume up, but it's just you can't match that power, and power is everything in heavyweight. Like you get hit with 1 or 2 punches and you're out of there,
Yeah. I mean, those 23 seconds.
Yeah.
Crazy. But Raul Rosas Jr. Dude, I said Jay Perrin was going to win. I don't think too many people would call me crazy about that, but he dominated him.
Yeah, he did. I couldn't believe it. To go in and take him down like that. Like I thought nerves were going to be a factor, and coming from a wrestling background, if you're nerves, you're not shooting a double leg and slamming a guy like that. Like that completely put that away. And then to submit him that quick, like he completely handled him. Great debut. Couldn't ask for anything better.
Yeah. And shout out to Rosas for wanting the fast track to the title. My guy.
Yeah.
But
yeah, just go.
Shout out to that guy, man. He seems like a great dude.
Yeah.
Damn it, Darren Till. Dude, I was so disappointed.
Yeah.
He needs he's taking time off. I'm saying, bro, if he's just disciplined, he can make welterweight easily.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to go back down and Duplessis is a savage. I'm not taking anything away from him. That dude is really good. But Duplessis said he doesn't think he's strong enough, and it's just like it's a discipline issue, I think. And he's got to find a better camp.
Yeah, for sure. You know, coming off of all the stuff that he's been through, you gotta just take a little bit more time, you know, regroup.
Yeah.
Even more.
Ooh, Ponzinibbio came back in this one, man. Third round. He was almost out of there in the second, I think. But dude, I mean, shout out to Morono though for taking this guy on short notice. I wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah. Oh, sweet. That was a good one. Absolutely.
All right, we have to talk about this, bro. Oh my gosh.
Just
Jared Gordon won this fight. There's no argument there. You can't tell me Jared Gordon did not win this fight. He won at least 2 rounds. He arguably won 30-27, but the second round is kind of iffy. But the control time was clear in Jared's favor.
absolutely.
And Patty's gonna get blasted if he comes up against even a competent striker. I'm not saying Jared Gordon's bad at striking, but if he goes up against someone like Bahamondes, dude, he is toast. And I think that's a good next step for Patty. Bahamondes, I think he's toast. And Jared Gordon's not even a great wrestler. Look what he did to Patty.
Yeah, that's 2 fights in a row where Patty's getting out wrestled by not great wrestlers. Like it's just I don't see Patty having a future in this division outside of his charisma and personality, you know, and he's just getting Dana White privilege. You know what I mean? I hate saying that. I always thought that was kind of a little bit exaggerated, but like this fight is no exaggeration, the reaction that came from it. You know, it's enough of an outrage by people that there should be steps taken to prevent this happening again. Like it was bad. It's pathetic.
It was egregious.
Absolutely.
I hate criticizing judging personally. It's a tough job, but and I'm not too big of a fan of Patty personally. I don't agree with some of the stuff he does, but like, bro, if I can take away my bias and look at a fight objectively and say Jared Gordon won that handily. I'm not saying it's the worst robbery I've ever seen because it's not, but it was egregious because Jared Gordon, I knew in my mind, Jared Gordon had to finish this dude.
Yeah.
To get the win. It's so disappointing, bro.
It is. And, you know, it has people questioning the legitimacy of the sport. And, like, that's sickening when it gets to that point because this is the best sport around, in my opinion. Like, it doesn't get better than this. And now you have people thinking, like, well, it's rigged for who they want to win. It's like, it takes the fun out of a lot of it. You know, you have a little bit of a dark spot here.
All right.
And this one didn't help it, really.
And then the next fight was just weird. I don't disagree with the draw. I really don't. I thought Jan Blachowicz won the first 3. Magomed Ankalaev won the 4th and the 5th, and the 5th was a 10-8, in my opinion. So there we go. I mean, there was dude, this light heavyweight division is an utter mess.
It is. It absolutely is.
And I love the light heavies. Don't get me wrong, man, but
it's
dang.
That's take a lot of work.
And Blachowicz was blasting those leg kicks. He took Ankalaev's legs in the first 2 rounds, bro. But Ankalaev mustered all the power he had and just grappled him. I got to give it to him, man. Ankalaev really turned it on, and I could, if someone won the fight, I can't even say that because I agree with all the scorecards. It could have been 48-47 Blachowicz, 48-47 Ankalaev, and 47-47 and a draw. Those are the only three scorecards that I thought could have happened. So if you gave the belt to Ankalaev, I couldn't say no. If you gave it to Blachowicz, I couldn't say no. It was a draw. It really was. So the belt stays vacant, and we got Jamal Hill versus Glover Teixeira.
Yeah, which is a toss-up. It can be a toss-up depending on how they fight. You know what I mean? And then depending on if Glover wins, he's getting into the age now. Like, is he gonna wait for Yuri to come back to defend it, or is he gonna win the belt and then retire and vacate it? And then once that vacates, what are you gonna do now? You know, I was thinking this earlier. Like, instead of having Pereira defend his belt first with Izzy, have him bump up and be a double champ. Like, mix stuff up, you know. But like, light heavyweight is just in a complete disarray right now. You know,
And it's like, if you look at the top 15, Yuri's hurt. Magran Jan Blachowicz just fought. Rakic is, I don't know when he's coming back. I hope he comes back. I love him. He's awesome. Krylov, he's not there yet. Craig's not there yet. Anthony Smith, I mean, who's the last top 10 opponent he beat? He just lost to Magomed Ankalaev by leg kicks. Oh, well, Smith kicked and he broke his leg. Like, he hasn't beaten anybody too significant as of late. Jamal Hill's literally the only answer.
Yep.
And his last one is against Thiago Santos, who's not even in the UFC anymore.
Yeah.
Dude, Jamal Hill sends people in orbit, though. Oh my gosh. That dude, he is not built whatsoever, but he is so scary. Like, what did Johnny Walker, bro?
Yeah.
Shoot.
It's something, man. It's just
he's different. All right, we're gonna talk about one more thing. Vettori versus what's his face? It's slipping my mind. Versus Roman Dolidze, confirmed for UFC London, March 16th. That's a fun fight. I gotta give it to Dolidze. That dude is active as hell.
Yeah. That's sick. I love that fight.
I love it too. And Marvin Vettori, I mean, he's been tearing it up in Thailand, so I'm interested to see how it's gonna be for him.
Yeah, I didn't hear about that. When's that fight happening?
UFC London, March 16th. So it'll be on the Leon Edwards card.
Nice.
So
stuff's happening with that apparently, or that was just like false stuff by Wonder Boy speculating. But
I don't think I can't see Wonder Boy speculating.
Yeah, he was saying something about Usman was having like a hand injury, and they were looking at Masvidal versus Edwards, and it's just
I saw that. He's fine. He was wrestling at Kill Cliff, so formerly Sanford. But Jarrett, that's all I have. My man, what do you have? Do you have anything else to say?
That was a great year. You know, ready for this weekend. You know, celebrate the holidays, eat up, and finish finals out. I love my first couple episodes with you, man. Looking forward to the dinner with you.
Yeah, for sure. So a couple more episodes this year. We're going to review the card, and then we're going to go to year-end review, and then y'all got to wait for the beginning of the year because we're going in strong. We're going in strong. But anyway, Jarrett, thanks for coming on again, man. It's always a good time.
Absolutely.
All right, we'll see y'all later.